Tourists came to take fun pictures and enjoy the moment, but instead, they got a big surprise. The Royal Guard's horses are not for playing, and when someone gets too close, the horse can bite back. Watch how these visitors react. You won't believe what happens next. It's a common sight for tourists in major cities around the world, posing for a photo with royal guards, standing still as statues, impeccably dressed in their uniforms, and the horses alongside them, majestic, strong, and calm. Subscribe for more heartwarming Royal Guard moments, and share this video with someone who could use a smile. Let's spread the kindness together. And don't forget to drop your favorite moment in the comments. We'd love to hear what touched your heart the most. But what happens when the calm demeanor of the Royal Guard's horse is suddenly shattered? This is the story of an unusual incident that occurred when a Royal Guard's horse bit a tourist in the heart of one of the most iconic spots in London. The reactions? Well, they were unexpected, to say the least. Picture this. It's a sunny afternoon in London, the bustling streets filled with eager tourists snapping pictures of the famous Buckingham Palace. The Royal Guard, in their signature red coats and tall bearskin hats, stand sentinel, ensuring that everything is in order. The horses, majestic as ever, stand next to their riders, some appearing perfectly content, others slightly restless, but all of them incredibly well trained. But not everything is as serene as it appears. This isn't a fairy tale. This is reality, where sometimes even the most composed animals can have moments of frustration. In the midst of this calm scene, one particularly curious tourist decides they want more than just a photograph with the guard. The tourist, who'd been lingering for a while, approaches the horse, probably thinking it's a perfect opportunity to get a closer shot. They extend their hand towards the horse's face, hoping to pet it, or at least get a better angle for their picture. What happens next may be something that the tourist didn't expect. The horse, perhaps feeling a little too much attention, suddenly reacts in a way that no one saw coming. It raises its head, snorts loudly, and then, without warning, bites the tourist's hand. The crowd is stunned into silence for a moment. As the reality of what just happened settles in, the tourist, now in a bit of shock, pulls back quickly, looking at their hand in disbelief. They look at the horse, then at the Royal Guard, then back at their hand, almost unsure if they should laugh or scream. The crowd begins to murmur, and some people quickly move away from the scene, clearly uncomfortable with what they've just witnessed. But the reactions of the tourists around them, that's where things get interesting. As the horse's bite sinks in, a few onlookers, who had also been posing for photos with the guards, start laughing. Some are amused at the sheer absurdity of the situation, while others are sympathetic towards the tourist, unsure of how to react. The Royal Guard, however, stands as still as ever, seemingly unfazed by the drama unfolding just a few feet away. Now, let's talk about the tourists' reaction. For a moment, it seems like they're in shock, but then they burst out laughing, almost as if the bite was part of a bizarre initiation into the world of London's famous Royal Guards. They show the bite to their friends, who seem equally stunned, but also find humor in the situation. Isn't it amazing how some people can find humor in such an unusual event? While the bite wasn't anything severe, it certainly wasn't expected. For this tourist, however, it seems like the story was too good not to laugh about. Other tourists around them, still in disbelief, start taking videos and pictures of the moment. The incident quickly turns into one of those viral moments, tourists laughing, showing off their experience, and sharing it with the world. Soon enough, social media is flooded with posts about the Royal Guard's horse bites tourists, with hashtags trending everywhere. But what does this really say about us as tourists? Do we not realize how unpredictable animals can be, especially ones trained for such ceremonial duties? Or are we just so caught up in the moment that we sometimes forget that these majestic animals are, in fact, living beings with their own instincts? This incident quickly sparks a debate online. Some argue that the horse's behavior was completely justified. After all, tourists are notorious for getting too close to animals without realizing the potential risks. Others believe that the horse's reaction was out of character and that perhaps the training of the horse should be reassessed to ensure it stays calm in the presence of large crowds. But let's take a moment to consider the life of a royal guard and their horse. The guards are often standing still for long hours, enduring crowds of tourists, camera flashes, and sometimes unexpected human behavior. The horses, trained to maintain their composure, still have instincts, and those instincts can sometimes lead to unpredictable reactions. While it's rare for a royal guard's horse to bite anyone, it serves as a reminder that animals, no matter how well trained, can only be pushed so far. So, what happens after the bite? Well, the tourist quickly recovers. No serious injury done. The royal guard, still maintaining his stoic stance, finally acknowledges the situation. Perhaps he was waiting for the tourist to stop laughing before he intervened. It's unclear whether the guard said anything, but the look on his face says it all. This was just another day in the life of a royal guard. The bite, while shocking, doesn't change the tourist's experience much. If anything, it becomes an unforgettable moment that they'll likely tell all their friends about. This was an experience that no one could have predicted. A simple visit to Buckingham Palace turned into a viral sensation. But here's the real question. How should we, as tourists, act around these majestic animals? It's easy to forget that the horses are part of a centuries-old tradition and that they're not just there to be photographed. They are living creatures, performing a job that requires their attention and focus. Many people seem to forget that these royal horses are highly trained, but that doesn't mean they are immune to stress. While the guards themselves are taught to remain impassive, the horses can sometimes react to stimuli that we don't even notice. A loud noise, a sudden movement, or an unexpected gesture might set them off. And when you consider the sheer number of tourists that visit the palace daily, it's no surprise that something like this might happen eventually. The incident also serves as a reminder about the power dynamics at play between tourists and animals in places of great historical significance. The Royal Guard, with its decades of tradition, represents a link to the monarchy, and its horses are no less symbolic. Their roles aren't just ceremonial, they embody a piece of living history that tourists from around the world flock to see. And as for the tourist, well, they probably left Buckingham Palace with a story they'd never forget, one that would be retold in countless conversations, Instagram posts, and maybe even in the future during interviews or documentaries. How many other people can say they were bit by a royal horse? So, the next time you find yourself at Buckingham Palace, standing next to a royal guard and their horse, remember this story. Don't get too close. Respect the animals, respect the guards, and most importantly, remember that even the most majestic creatures have their limits. And as for the tourist involved in this unforgettable moment, well, they probably walked away with a funny story for the ages, and the internet certainly didn't let them forget it. That, my friends, is the power of a royal guard's horse bite. Thank you for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed this unusual tale from the streets of London. Stay tuned for more unbelievable stories and incredible moments from around the world. Always be respectful of the traditions and the animals you encounter, because you never know what might happen next.